Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Dealing with a life challenge, want better ways to approach it? Best-selling author, popular speaker, and mother of 7, Connie Sokol shares 8 simple tips to find peace, clarity, and direction. Welcome, Connie.
Well,
please help us.
Oh, you're sweet.
Well, if anyone can share 8 simple tips, I think it would be you.
Yes. The question is, can I remember the things I was going to share after having 7 children?
Yeah. Yes, help us simplify, especially coming into the holidays. Like, how can we just make it easier on ourselves?
Well, and I think that's one of the big challenges facing women coming into the holidays is feeling the overwhelm and feeling like I should have this all in hand. And there's this sort of myth that it's the mom show and that mom has to have everything organized and produce this beautiful feast and beautiful decorations to go with it and all of these things and have to be orchestrated and you're trying to get everybody where they need to go on top of the regular everyday things that you're supposed to do. And so to the men. So I'm just saying it's a challenge and I think women can step back and go, wait 1 second, maybe not this year, I can do it differently.
Connie, do you think it's different because there are so many women working outside the home, whereas maybe in the 50s or even before that, women were home. And so they were busy. They were actually making their butter instead of buying their butter. But that also let them be home and feel that creativity and now it's just hard.
I remember my mom when I was younger, she had gotten this philanthropic kick of making these geese. So she had these out of fabric and they were about this tall and she was like decorating them and they all had this little individual hats and things and I was like, wow, Mom. But seriously, I mean, that was, they had the time and the interest. And nowadays, I think we have so many technology and things like that. We have so many advances that we can save time, but there is so much more expected of any woman on any given day that we literally have to keep calling it out and standing firm and saying, not this year. That sounds like a great idea. We'd love to come, but just not this year. And then rinse and repeat, and be able to pull it back to what is going to work for me. That is another challenge that women face, is being able to use their voice and not worry so much about offending others.
I was just going to say, what if it really could hurt someone's feelings?
Absolutely. You know what? Then you give them a bar of chocolate. You say, so sorry. But you still move forward on what you know is best for you. I remember talking to a lady, I was coaching her a few years ago, and she said, oh, but my mother-in-law will be so mad if we don't come to this thing and this thing. But it stresses our family out incredibly, and we've expressed it to her. We tried to do all these different things, and I've said, ultimately it's everyone's choice. But I said some things to consider is this is going to continue. It's not going to go anywhere. So if you can express it in a way of love you. This is Gary and Joy Lundberg. I can't take credit for this. They say just get your phrase and then rinse and repeat and just like a recording and say, we love you. We love to be with you. And we just, she's taking notes. We just
love you, but
we just can't do this in our season of life right now. It's not working for us, but we can do this. So give them a compromise, give them another buy-in of, we could do this part, we could do that part.
Okay.
When we give people options and they still won't take it, then it's not our fault. Then we send a fruit basket. Then we just say, I love you still. We're not coming. But here's the fruit, and let them have their frustration party or whatever, that tantrum at the moment. It's easier said than done, I know. But it will be better in the long run if you just, pull the Band-Aid off in a kindly, candid way. And that's what I call it, kind candor, where you say it with love and kindness. So
that's one of your steps.
That is one of the things that you've got to do. And that's one of the hardest things, because first I do a thing called the throwaway journal, and then I write down all these things. I can't believe I'm being expected to do get it all out, and you burn it, flush it down the toilet if it's environmentally approved. Yes. Anyway, so you do your thing to get the emotion out. And then you can really approach it with, wow, you know what? This is just a problem to be solved. It's not an emotional issue. It's just a problem to solve. So love the people, solve the problem. It's just something to consider. Doesn't mean it's going to go beautifully. You might be the one sitting with the chocolate in the closet.
I was going to say that.
That's okay too, right?
And that's okay. And you can feel badly too. You can be like, oh, I just had a conversation with my sweet mother. And I said, I'm so sorry. This is how it's going to work best for us. And I know that she was trying to be really kind about it, but I could tell she was a little bit on the annoyed side. She's Scottish and you can hear it in the tone. And I just was processing it the last couple of days. And I thought, you know what? It's all good. I love her and she loves me. It's all good. It'll all work out in the long run.
So what are some of the biggest things women are facing right now, do you think?
I have found that women's challenges are really, a lot of women are talking to me, especially lately with the things that I'm talking about. And the number one categories that I kind of funnel them into is relationships, health, and finances. And it seems that one dominoes into another. So if you have relationship issues, you might have health issues, not sleeping, not eating well, you're stressed, you're worried. Same thing if you have health problems, financial, relationship. So it kind of goes in this sort of tornado circuit thing. So
Gosh, it makes perfect sense.
it does.
It does.
But then is there any way out of it? If it
Well, the beautiful thing is that there is a way out. In fact, there's several ways out. And that's what I just went through a difficult experience myself the last 6 months. And not that I'm, immune to difficult experiences.
you're perfect,
but
though. No worries.
Exactly. This is what I keep telling my children. Why will they not believe me? But this time differently is that after I came through it, I actually sat down and wrote what were the things that helped me successfully get through it while it was fresh, while it was raw. And that was so cathartic and so helpful. So that's what I'm sharing now. And one of the first things that I share with women, and we kind of covered just briefly, was you don't have to make everything all better. Joy and Gary and Joy Lundberg. You don't have to make everything all better.
they wrote a book on that.
Yes, they did.
I
A
have that.
bestseller, and I have it highly underlined. Have to remind myself every few years and read it. But we don't have to take that on. We're natural nurturers, which is beautiful. Doesn't mean that we own people's choices and that we're responsible to make everybody happy. So this is a great thing when we can take that off. Holidays, regular days, whenever, just take that off and say, that's not my responsibility. That's not my mantle. It's my joy, but it's not my responsibility. The second thing is when you're facing a challenge. So we're going to go a little deeper. No matter what it is, it could be a child leaving home, it could be a child coming back home, it could be a variety of things, but really serious things dealing with loved one's addiction, whatever it is. Facing that, I encourage women to first let themselves feel it, because too often what we're doing is we're just stuffing the feelings. We're eating a pan of brownies, or we're just, I don't want to hurt someone's feelings. And so we're just stuffing these feelings. And what can happen is that we just all of a sudden burst, or we break down, or our health goes, and we're not being able to use our voice, and we're not being able to move forward. We get emotionally stuck because we're not just allowing ourselves to feel it. Simplest thing, my last one went to kindergarten just recently, class of 7. And you know what? I mean, I got him on the bus and we had our thing to get there and it was all great and it all worked out. And it was like, whoo! And I was looking forward to a productive morning, because when my kids go to kindergarten, some I've sent more happily than others. Some have been like, TikTok wins the bus game. Love you, but oh man, do I need a break. But I was happy. I was like, it's, sad, but it's going to be okay. And then all of a sudden I walked back in the house and it was like, I started weeping. And so I thought, what's wrong? And I got some banana bread, went under the covers, watched some Jane Austen, and I was good. So I let myself feel it. And that was really pivotal.
So good. Hold that thought. The boss says we need to take a break. Stay with us.
Where's that chocolate?